Welcome brothers, I'm JK Emezi, founder and head coach of PornReboot. And today we're going to be addressing a belief, mainly for those of my brothers out there who are struggling with a little bit of low self-esteem, which you feel is connected to your behavior with pornography. This belief that you are not a valuable person because you don't feel that you have contributed anything. Now, you could be making this judgment based on your age. You feel that, man, I'm a certain age and I haven't accomplished this and this and this. You may be making this assumption based on your financial status. You might be making this assumption based on your status as to whether you're single or you're married, or the number of sexual experiences that you've had, the way you look, your body. There's so many instances of the things that we compare ourselves to others. Now, I used to feel this way when I was addicted to pornography, and I felt this way all the time. The reason why this is connected to pornography is because any shame which I had was compounded by my behavior with pornography. I felt dirty, I felt unworthy of being loved, I felt that I was a loser because no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't control what was a basic human behavior, my behavior with sex. So whenever I had a sexual urge, I had to act out. And those of you who struggle with pornography know how heartbreaking this can be. Every single time you have this urge, you must do something about it. That just takes over your entire life. And eventually the shame and lack of self-worth that you experience just bleeds into every aspect of your life. Now, many of you know that back in the day I used to be a door-to-door salesman. That was the way I paid my way through college. And it was kind of one of the worst things that you could do when you were dealing with a porn addiction, because I already had low self-esteem, but I had taken up a career which required you to be rejected all the time. So every day you were going to people's homes and businesses, cold calling them, and in most cases they viewed you as an unwelcome pest. They didn't want what you were selling. Some people were startled that you were showing up at their door without an appointment. There were many things which elicited a negative response from people in general. And so I dealt with a lot of rejection, a lot of instances where people ignored me. And unfortunately, despite the training I had at the time, I internalized a lot of this. And so my feelings of self-worth increased even more, and thus my acting out behavior and the type of pornography that I was watching. I eventually got to a point where I just didn't believe that I was worth anything. I was wondering why I was even alive. I would tell myself that you can't do this door-to-door thing. You've never been in a relationship in your life. Nobody likes you. Obviously, the clients that you try to reach out to are rejecting you. Your fellow salespeople in the company think you're a loser because you don't seem to be working hard. You have nothing to show for it. You're doing door-to-door sales. This obviously means that you can't even succeed in a regular career. So I was basically wallowing in this pit of self-pity until I listened to a recording by a gentleman known as Zig Ziglar. Now, Zig Ziglar, way back in the day, was a sales trainer. Some of you might be familiar with him. He's a sales trainer and motivational speaker. And I might be wrong, but I believe it was Zig Ziglar who said this. And I was listening to one of his CDs in my car. At one point, I used to park close to a church and have my pity party. Like, I just feel bad for myself and wait for the day to end. And I'd go home and I'd lie to all my housemates that, oh yeah, I had a great day and blah, 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 blah. But I was listening to his recording one day, and he said that, you know, you are valuable because 9 months before you were born, or, you know, a couple of months before if you were premature, you were the winner in a great race among billions of beings. And it was a race in the dark, and it was uphill, so to speak. Basically, you were one sperm out of billions that were trying to fertilize an egg. And there was a lot of luck that was involved. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you are here. Now, that's not the best scientific analogy, obviously, so those of you who are nerds, just chill out for a moment. You get where I'm going with this. But you were created. If it was a different sperm, then you would probably be a completely different person. You may not be here, but you are here, and somebody else isn't. And that alone makes you valuable. You won a battle. Here's another thing that makes you valuable. By the end of today, many people who woke up this morning are not going to be alive to go to bed. They're going to lose their lives. Thousands of people pass away every day. But you're here right now at this moment. A minute ago, an hour ago, a day ago, somebody didn't make it. But you did. And you made it up to this point in your life. So when you think of all the things that you haven't accomplished, all those things are absolutely irrelevant because you are here right now. And in many cases, you are fortunate enough to be watching this video, to have access to the internet, to be physically healthy, to maybe even having some money in your pocket, or having people who love and care about you. There's a lot that makes you valuable. But the mistake that we make, and the mistake that I was making, was feeling and believing that I had to be this esteemed, productive, and valuable member of society to be worth something. That is just a belief that society has created for us. The truth is, you are valuable just because you are alive today. That is it. That is enough. In the grand scheme of things, it's important to build up your self-confidence by being competent at certain things. But when you haven't accomplished those things because you struggle with an out-of-control behavior, or because of some traumatic experience or unfortunate incidents which happened in your life, it doesn't mean that your entire existence is cancelled out. It just means that you've lost the frame of reference for why you exist. And I'm helping you remember that you are valuable just because you exist. You have to create meaning and value for yourself. No one else is going to do it for you, especially when you have extremely low self-esteem, when you don't feel that who you are has any value. Back then in my car, listening to this CD, I realized that nobody was going to give me anything that was going to help me feel valuable. And chances were I was going to keep failing at all these other things because, well, I was already failing and I didn't know how to improve myself. But there was one thing that I did know. I did know that what he said resonated with me. That I was lucky to be alive. That I was fortunate to be alive. That there were people out there who would give anything to be in my shoes. There were people out there who couldn't walk or who had lost one of their senses, who would give anything to just go through the world with all their senses and all their health, even if they were getting rejected all day. I guarantee you that there's somebody out there in the world who would give anything to be in your shoes. Yes, they would even take your addiction as well. They would take everything you have just to experience a certain piece of your life. There are people who would do anything to get their youth back, to be your age again. However old you are, you might be in your 40s or 50s. There's somebody who would give everything to be in their 50s, regardless of your situation, right? So it's so important to be able to go deep within us, to the lowest common denominator of our existence, and use that to rebuild ourselves. And that's what I did that day. I developed self-talk, that I loved myself and that I accepted myself just as I was and just for existing. I stopped depending on other people to love me. I stopped depending on other people's approval. Oh, JK, you did well at sales. You're a person. You are valuable now. I stopped needing all those things and I started working on myself till I felt that I was valuable just for existing. Then I started building on the other areas of my life. And I want you to know that you can do the same. Now, to be honest, I haven't been perfect about it. Even after dealing with my porn addiction and rebooting, there were other challenges that came up in life. And many times I would find myself forgetting this important concept. And I would always come back to it. It wasn't the easiest thing, but I would always push myself to go back to the most basic thing. JK, no matter where you go in life, you have to remember that your value is not determined by all these things outside you. So brother, in summary, you are unique. Your life is unique, your experiences are unique, and wherever you find yourself in life, the truth is you've done all you can with all that you were given, okay? Even if you feel that you were given a lot and you squandered it because of your out of control behavior, you still did what you could despite the fact that you had this out of control behavior. And the fact that you're watching this is proof that you're trying to change yourself. I want to end this video by letting you know that you were made for much more than chasing sex. There are so many things that you can do, but it all begins with you valuing yourself. I'd like to hear some of your thoughts on this. Please feel free to leave your comments in the comment section below. If you found this helpful, if you would like to hear more topics like this, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel, or when you do so, click on the little bell icon so that you get notified whenever I release the videos. I release 4 videos a week every week. And if you are ready to end your out of control behavior, if you're over the age of 25, if you are a business owner, if you are an executive, or if you are a high performing professional, there are a couple of ways that we can help you. The first way is our free Facebook group. It's called the PornReboot group, and it's a great community where you can find an accountability partner, you can find men who are following the PornReboot system, and you can put yourself in a community around supportive men. You might not be ready to talk about your out of control behavior, but you might just want to be around men who are doing so, and you feel that that might give you a little bit of confidence or help you boost your self-esteem a little bit. Well, that's the group to join. There's a link to do so in the description below this video. The second way is to join my free training. Now, this training is called 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men. It's a live training that is hosted every week, and it is an expansion of my book, 7 Secrets of Porn-Free Men. So if you'd like to learn more about my system, and if you'd like to just get a basic idea of how this differs from other modalities and approaches when it comes to dealing with addiction, then use the link in the description below this video to join. And finally, if you are ready to end your out of control behavior, if you want to end this behavior quicker, gain control over it faster, if you would like somebody to hold your hand and just lead you straight to the path, well, I can't really hold your hand and solve the problem, but I can certainly guide you there. Or if you are a person who prefers systems, you're a person who, you know, like all these different concepts and tips are great, but JK, I'm really looking for a step-by-step method which is measurable and predictable to help me end my out of control behavior, then one of our coaching programs might be a good fit for you. We have 2 programs. The first is called the Reboot Implementation Program, and the second is called the Reboot Intensive Program. Now, to learn more about them, and more importantly, find out if you're a good fit for the program, you'd have to speak to one of my team members, and there's a link to fill out a survey and schedule a call in the description below this video. I'm JK, your brother in the struggle. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll speak to you later on in the week. Have a good day.